Hello and welcome to another LEGO Trade MOC Showcase video. This is another Thomas character. It's Duck, or Montague, which is something I still annoyingly can't quite accept to this day. It's just weird, you can't call this Montague, it's Duck. So Duck is based on a Great Western Railway 5700 pannier tank engine, and I've seen a few of these made in the past, but it looked really intimidating. Trying to get the right shape and size of the actual tank itself was, again, just kind of intimidating. I never thought I'd be able to pull this off, but after doing a few sort of planning stages before I actually got to brick building this, I thought, you know what, I reckon this could work. So Duck is 7 studs wide, and that does go against a rule I have for LEGO train making. So tank engines I try to keep to 6 wide, and tender engines I try to keep 7 wide, especially since I started making tender engines 7 wide in the first place. Now this probably could work 6 wide, but I don't think you could get the same level of detail. I really doubt you could. I think this turned out really well. There are some ones where I look at it and go, yeah, I'm really pleased with it, but genuinely, above all of them, this one is something I'm so proud of because it's a shape, again, that I've been so intimidated by in the past. I've only seen a few of these, and I don't want to knock other people for how they make their models, but I thought to myself, if I'm going to build it, I want to try it this way. And if I was going to build this model, I'm glad it was in the version of a Thomas character because it's much more recognizable, and goddamn is it beautiful. There are a few sticker elements being used as well. We have some silver stickers being used for the windows on the front and the back. I have plenty of letters on my yellow sticker sheet still being used. And as for the number, I decided to go with the number 8 instead of Duck's traditional number from the Railway series. It is the number 8 on top of a strip of black trimline tape and some yellow trimline tape to border it, which I think looks quite lovely. Not as finicky as I thought it would. And honestly, that's a really cool detail because I thought it would all start peeling off each other, but turns out it's not. Given the location of the rear drive wheel, I have made something that I never thought I would do before. I have a brick-built buffer beam on the back of the locomotive, and the magnet is a bit more free and flexible compared to how I would normally use a standard magnet set. Now again, this is because of the location of the rear drive wheel. If I put a normal buffer here, I fear that the magnets will not be able to connect to any rolling stock, especially given the shape of the coal bunker above it. So it's a bit of an interesting piece, but one that I saw fellow LNUR member Andrew Harvey do. And since seeing that, I thought to myself, that is something I want to try and use in the future. And here it is on one of my models. Thank you, Andrew. The wheels I'm using for this model are medium-sized drivers from Big Ben Bricks. These were previously dark grey ones, which I originally used for my W1 all those, well, not really years ago, but more so many months ago. So these have been spray painted in black and then been given a cover of lacquer spray paint. Lacquer spray paint is a godsend because I had a look at Henry's drive wheels, which are also painted in green. And around the flanges, they are starting to kind of, you know, the paint's coming off. So it might be worth in the future to go over some wheels again that I've painted and give them a coat of lacquer. And even then, I would prefer to use mediums than large ones because Duck is already quite massive. If I made him any taller, it could be ridiculously out of scale. Now, I am recording and uploading the showcase videos for Duck and Oliver on the same day, and this is something I'm going to be mentioning in both videos. So, in the past, people have asked me about what I use for the face. I have answered this question a number of times in the comments and even addressed it in a few videos, James and Percy in particular, I believe. So I'm going to mention them again here, and from now on, if anybody asks about it, I want to refer you to these videos because it is starting to get a bit annoying having to answer these questions over and over again. So this is the style of toy that I used. It is a Golden Bear push-along toy. These are not quite as cheap as I thought I would kind of expect them to be. I think the first few ones I found were like 3-4 quid each, which, you know, that's not too bad, especially that they're, you know, not knackered or anything. But these ones I had to buy were about 8 quid each, which is quite frustrating. But ultimately is worth it when you see the details on the final model. I mean, that face fits just perfectly. Another thing that was going to happen was a kind of tutorial on how to remove the face piece. Sadly, I can't do that. I bought new toys to use the faces for Duck and Oliver, of course, and I also got one for Douglas as well. So all but one of my Thomas characters now have faces, the other one being Lady. Technically, I do still have Stevenson's rocket, but it's more so in the shape of the rocket than the Steven character. But the reason why I can't do the tutorial is because these faces were attached differently. For the first 5, maybe including Percy as well, the faces were kind of just clipped onto the front. It was so much easier to take those off and kind of just, remove the clips and just, that's it. It was a really swift, easy process. When it comes to Duck, Oliver, and the Douglas toy, it was a nightmare to have to get them out. It was not clean at all. So sadly, and because it was a very different process to previous toys, I can't make that tutorial, which is a real shame because genuinely I would have liked to have done so, because having people ask that question about how I use the faces in the first place, it would have been an extra sort of helpful tip. Duck is my 4th ever Great Western locomotive. I've made a Great Western Hull, which is the Hogwarts Express, and I've made a Great Western City of Truro, which is a city class, but I think it's the 34, is it 3400 or 3700? I want to say 3700. Still touching up on some trade law, especially since it's something I haven't really kind of focused on in a while. But it's nice to have some Great Westerns on the railway. It's nice to have some more tank engines on the railway. Just looking at this, it's so big and chunky and just goddamn is it cool. This is probably going to be one of the more popular Thomas characters that I've made. Well, it's only a prediction, but given the overall shape, I think it will be a standout character amongst all of my builds. So there we go. Thank you all ever so much for watching. This has been a bit of a lengthy video, but at the same time, everything that was mentioned was definitely worth mentioning. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.